Let me start by asking you a question. How motivated is your son or daughter to achieve their personal swimming goals? Perhaps they are a really motivated person who is always swimming and is rarely demotivated. Perhaps they are generally motivated, but you have days where it's hard to get them to training. Or perhaps you are worried because they have lost some motivation for swimming at the moment and you're not quite sure why. I'm Helen Davis and I work as a sports psychologist at Think, Believe, Perform and as a performance psychologist for Swim England. I work with a range of athletes and teams from various different sports to enhance performance. Over the course of this short video, I'm going to explore what motivation is, different types of motivation, and give you a few tips to help keep your son or daughter motivated. So what is motivation? Well, motivation is the direction and intensity of your son or daughter's effort towards something they want to do. Some days, I bet they have lots of it. Other days, well, I expect it can be a bit of a struggle and an effort, which can be a source of frustration for many parents. As parents, I'm sure you want your child to have desire and determination to improve their swimming, maximise their ability and achieve their goals. I want to tell you about 3 key ingredients for motivation that I hope you can remember and will give you a formula to follow. These 3 ingredients are competence, connectedness and control. If your son or daughter is in a situation where these 3 ingredients are supported, you are more likely to have a child experiencing high quality forms of motivation. If any one of these 3 ingredients is unsupported, it can have a detrimental effect on their motivation or even their well-being. I hope that as parents, knowing about these 3 key ingredients means you can work with your sons or daughters to maintain quality motivation and engagement in swimming. Let's take a look in a bit more detail. So the first ingredient is competence. Competence is a state where your child feels that they are getting good feedback from others. Swimming is going well, and they feel respected and recognised in their swimming environment. They feel competent. Having these feelings will drive your son or daughter and make them feel more motivated. Research tells us that the more competent people feel, the better their quality of motivation, and the better they are likely to function and perform as a consequence. The reverse applies as well. So if you have low competence, it's likely to result in half-hearted, unsustained and inconsistent effort at best. Competence can be challenging for swimmers when they perform badly or they're not feeling like they're making progress. The second key ingredient is connectedness. Connectedness refers to the quality of relationships within their sporting environment. Does your son or daughter feel in tune with their coaches or fellow swimmers? Do they share the purpose, meaning and values of their club or team? Connectedness will give your child a sense of belonging to their club and caring for fellow swimmers. Being connected to others seems like an obvious ingredient, but it can be one of the ingredients that people forget about the most. It reflects the sense of unity with others, reminds us that achievement in swimming is not all about outcomes, but there is an important value in areas such as mutual trust, support and understanding. When we feel connected to others and teams, we are likely to feel more motivated and supported. The third key ingredient is control. Control is about having a sense of choice and influence over things that concern you. Control will be high when your son or daughter feels that they are engaging in swimming because they are choosing to do so, not because they feel pressured by other people or external factors. Take care with control. It's not about being a control freak. Control is about choice and your son or daughter choosing what they do and how they do it. The more sense of choice one has, the higher levels of interest, excitement and confidence they are likely to feel. Generally, athletes tend to perform at their best when they have a choice over every aspect of a task. Of course, in swimming, this is not always possible. It is important to remember your son or daughter can still have a sense of choice in terms of their mental approach to a situation. They can make a choice whether to react positively or negatively. So remind them they always have a choice in how they react to a situation. There is a good phrase which you might have heard of, which is control the controllables. It involves putting time and energy into things that you can control and reducing the energy you spend on things that you can't. Understanding what events we can control and those we can't is vital for performance. A sense of choice tends to mobilise energies, while demands and constraints tend to sap them. In order to feel more motivated, control is a key ingredient, so maximising and exercising your son or daughter's sense of control is important to help keep them motivated. So now I would suggest that you check in with your son or daughter's motivation. Ask yourself these questions and then think, what are the answers? How in control do I think my son or daughter feels? Do they have a sense of belonging to their club? How competent and confident do they feel when they swim? Alongside these three key ingredients, it is also valuable to know what types of motivation your son or daughter may have. The first one is intrinsic motivation. Having lots of intrinsic motivation means that you do something because you genuinely enjoy it and it's fun. If you're intrinsically motivated, you are motivated by something inside you because it's naturally satisfying to you. With extrinsic motivation, a person tends to do a task or activity mainly because doing so will yield some kind of reward or benefit upon completion. So your son or daughter may be swimming for their medal, the county record, or for the new swimsuit that they might be bought after the race. This type of motivation arises from outside of the individual, from an external source. So which is the best type of motivation to have? Simply put, being more intrinsically motivated because of internal factors means your son or daughter is more likely to keep up swimming for their own reasons. Here, your son or daughter is more likely to experience positive thoughts, feelings and behaviours than swimmers who are more motivated by extrinsic factors. Swimmers who are more intrinsically motivated have a greater sense of well-being, and swimmers who are more extrinsically motivated can experience more anxiety and find it harder to cope with failures. So what are some tips and strategies I have for swimming parents to help maintain or raise the quality of motivation in your son or daughter? Firstly, I would say remind yourselves that it's normal for motivation to fluctuate. Also remind yourself that it's hard for motivation to be high every single day. Regularly ask yourself the questions I mentioned earlier about the three key ingredients: competence, connectedness and control. Are all three ingredients being supported with your son or daughter at the moment? Or is there something missing from one or more of the ingredients? How can I as a parent work to promote that ingredient in my child? Have acceptance that your son or daughter's motivation will fluctuate, and use their social support network to help you on days when it's difficult to motivate them. This might be finding a motivation buddy who regularly checks in with your child to help keep them motivated and on track. This could be something simple as car sharing with one of their friends on the way to and from swimming, getting a friend to text before training, stopping for food with friends on the way home, or having a quiet word with your son or daughter's coach or fellow swimmers and asking them to help. Actively encourage your child to put their energy and focus into things that they can control. For example, the effort that they put into training or how they respond to their coach. Get them to check in with this from time to time and ask them, is your focus on your controllables, or are you actually thinking and worrying about factors that you can't control? Talk about why they love swimming. Why do they do it? What do they get from it? This will all help foster intrinsic motivation. Finally, thanks for watching and good luck with working with your son or daughter on their motivation. Check out my website for further swimming articles on motivation: www.thinkbelieveperform.co.uk.